Legal Society. I am pleased to have been invited to be the keynote speaker for this afternoon's celebration. Thanks to Judge Love and Judge Reese as co-chairs for thinking me worthy of this honor. I'm going to go off script for a minute. When I came to New Orleans in the fall of 1977, a year after graduating from LSU, I had the honor, like Kern, of sitting at the feet of some of these giants. And I remember those Monday red beans and rice lunches where we got together with people like Lois Eli, Earl Amity, Ernest Morial, Remus Ortiz, Neil Douglas. They were all men, but that was okay. Because we believed as women we were going to get our chance to join them, and we actually did. And one of the things that I am proud of, and I try not to boast about what I do, it's not about me, it's about the work. But I think we all need to take opportunities to lift others up. And when I went on the bench in 1984, there was a practice that white judges could appoint lawyers to sit pro tem. And white judges didn't appoint African Americans. And so when I got on the bench, I vowed that I was going to help African Americans, mostly women, but there were a few men, to get that privilege. Because what it was at that time was an opportunity that Jennifer knew with some credibility to run for judge. And so I thought that I should provide that opportunity for people who look like me, because nobody else was doing it. And so I'm proud to have done that. And I think that's one of the things that makes me proudest of, that I was not afraid to just appoint African Americans, because I've never really appointed a white. I just appoint African Americans because they need it. And the other thing that I am really proud of is that, as Sherry said, I don't bite my tongue about the work that I do. I'm disappointed that people don't see it as valuable as I do, but it is valuable. And I don't bite my tongue about saying we need to do a better job of what we do in terms of mentoring our children and being there for them. So in the court that I work in, there's a program called CASA, Court Appointed Special Advocates. I am disillusioned by the fact that 99% of the CASA volunteers don't look like the children who are there or the families who are there. That is an opportunity that lawyers can take, and if you don't want to do it as a lawyer, a family member can take to be trained to be a CASA. We need people who look like the children so that they can understand that for this moment in time, it doesn't define their life. There are opportunities that they can have with support, and so I'm asking you all to consider whatever way you can to support the CASA program in New Orleans. All right, now, on to this afternoon. I get a bunch of emails, as I'm sure everybody else does, and one of the things I get every day is a quote of the day. And when I read the quotes, I try to think of the various meanings that they have and try to discover their origin. So when I looked up the phrase, standing on the shoulders of giants, this is what I found of interest. John Salisbury wrote in an 1159 logic treatise, "We are like dwarfs, sitting on the shoulders of giants. We see more and things that are more distant than they did, not because our sight is superior or because we are taller than they, but because they raise us up, and by their great stature add to ours." Isaac Newton, in a 1676 letter to Robert Hooke, said it this way: "What Descartes did was a good step. You have added much, several ways, and especially in taking the colors of thin plates into philosophical consideration. If I have seen a little further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." We who are here, we're where we are, and we are here because of the hard work of people who came before us. We are here today to honor those who fought for our civil rights. Though it was many years ago, we stand on their shoulders, and they are our giants. Standing on the shoulders of giants means that we do not have to start from scratch, and we don't have to do it all alone. We recognize and acknowledge that there have been thousands, named and unnamed, brave and smart people before us. While many of those heroes and sheroes were not always lawyers, since I have a room full mostly of lawyers today, I will focus on a few lawyers in that group. For those of you who went to LSU, anybody other than me? All right. I hope that each morning you gave thanks to Dutch Morial and Robert Collins for leading the way. For the women among you, I wonder if you know how much you owe to Burnett Joshua and Camille Gray. Do you ever feel pressured by the demands of being a lawyer? Ungrateful and demanding clients and deadlines? If you do, I regret that most of you never had an opportunity to talk to Earl Amity. Imagine for a moment that your problem is not just a grumpy judge, but someone who says that they will kill you if you show up in court tomorrow. And they did not mean that they would outlawyer you. They did not mean that they would cite cases more concisely than you, or that they would write a better brief. They meant they would kill you with a gun. Because of the shoulders that we stand on and the progress that has been made, we each have an obligation to build something for those who come behind us to help them understand and commit to the struggles that still exist. I called it an obligation, but it should be a debt, a blood debt. You can't pay it off, but you should pay down on it or pay it forward. In his definition of black lawyers as social engineers, Charles Hamilton Houston said, "A social engineer is a person who is doing something to remedy the ills of society, of addressing problems that one sees in society." As black lawyers, we don't have the privilege or the luxury of turning blind eyes to problems in our society. We must actively be doing something. So here are the two questions for us. For those of us in the room as senior lawyers, have we developed shoulders and advanced the needle a little further than our founders and forefathers that caused the young lawyer to pick up the torch or the mantle? And for the young lawyers in the room, will you stand on the shoulders so that a great generation of lawyers can stand even taller, understanding their roles and responsibilities as social engineers? As we honor our founding fathers, and they were all fathers, we should ask ourselves, what are we doing individually and collectively as social engineers to advance the cause of justice? What are the issues of the day that call out for our attention? Mass incarceration of African American boys and men, dismantling of the Civil Rights and Voting Rights Act, the school to prison pipeline, gun violence, the devastation of our families and communities by drugs. So I'm not the new person, I gotta have paper. I challenge each of you to be a black lawyer that makes a difference. Find a way to help those in need of legal services. Give back something to the larger world community. In closing, I want to leave with you the words of a poem written by Barbara Jack in 2010. She said, "According to our Constitution, all people are created equal, and it is a time all people are treated equally. Sex, race, or religion should make no difference. That is my prayer for America." The poem she wrote is entitled, "Standing on Their Shoulders." Fearless women have always led our way, so it's only fitting we celebrate today. 90 years ago, the vote earned by sweat and tears of fearless, wise women struggling through the years. Our great-grandmas also fought this war, standing on strong shoulders evermore. Tubman, Anthony, Truth, and Stanton, to name a few, worked so long to see their dreams come true. Fearless doesn't mean they felt no tinge of fear. It means they chose to proceed, focused, wise, and clear. Challenges were many, our feminine power strong. Each time we conquer fear, we join their mighty throng. So how do we remember the lessons from them all? By making quiet time their lessons come to call. Let's tap their individual power to use for good each day, since we're not alone without equal rights and also equal pay. Since we're not done without equal rights and also equal pay. We have the vote, let's use it. For wisdom we search, let's choose it. Never has our vote counted for more. Let's honor our sisters from shore to shore. As we raise our children or rock our grandchildren small, let's tell them of their value to themselves and to us all. help them find their passion, help them find their way, because they'll stand on shoulders strong and mighty every day.